The other thing I want to talk about was something I also learned from that book, The Art of Learning. And the guy was talking about how you can't change your surroundings. You got to realize in life that you can't change your surroundings. So what the guy was saying is that there's like this old saying, and it goes, "There's a man who wants to explore the world, right? There's a guy who wants to explore the world, but the world is filled with thorns and bushes and sticks and all that stuff that's gonna hurt your feet. How are you gonna explore the world if it hurts your feet? You know, you're saying you have two options. One, you can either build a road, pave it all out, concrete, all that stuff, and tame all of nature in its way, or you can build sandals. He's talking about how people, when they get into these tournaments and start competing in whatever it is, for me is Counter-Strike, is that they'll try and tune out the world or change it to suit them. So like for me, if I'm playing in a match, I'll usually ask like my mom to leave or something. I stopped doing that a while ago because I'm like, oh, I can't be distracted. She's on the phone talking to someone. And I realized that's actually pretty bad. It's actually setting me up. It's hurting me in the long run. You have to be able to like weather through all these things. And it's talking about that people will hear this and they'll think that in order to do that, you have to block out your emotions. Just saying that this is also wrong too. That's like, it's a step above letting your emotions control you, is blocking them out. But a step above that is actually using your emotions as fuel. And so he was talking about how when he was like a Tai Chi push hands competitor, that like there's this guy who played dirty and that would anger him and piss him off, and he let the emotions control him. Eventually he started blocking out the emotions, get a little bit better, but he was like, you still get angry, that anger's still there. And he realized that he used that anger to fuel him, and to like be like, all right, I need to focus up, I'm getting angry, and let me use this. Oh, I just feel the burn, feel that little anger rising up, and I'm gonna focus up and I'm gonna punish him for doing like this dirty stuff. Oh, I'm gonna start using his momentum against him and stuff like that. So he's talking about how there's actually several ways to use your emotions to benefit yourself. He used a couple tier 1 competitors as an example. So for one, there's this world champion chess player named Tigran Petrosian, and he was saying that this guy, before every single match, every day, he would sit before the match and he would meditate and just be like introspective and be like, all right, how am I feeling? He would sit there and feel his emotional state. And he's like, all right, if I'm feeling confident, he would go for a confident opener in chess that takes more risks. It requires more risks and confidence to play it. If he was feeling, a little bit insecure, a little bit passive, tired, he'd go for like a more passive, relaxed, risk-adverse opener that doesn't have that many risks to it. He would do this every day. He'd study his mood and he'd pick an opener that matched his mood. And this is because he believed that you cannot truly play that opener to the best of its ability if you're not in the same mood that matches it. So I apply this to Counter-Strike. I'm like, dude, because there's several ways to like figure out how to start a T side half and like how to approach the pacing. This is a method you could use, is being like, how do I feel personally? I'm feeling confident. Let's go for some ballsy ass shit and start the pace off fast. Let's start off with like a fast bath take on overpass, start off with nice rushes and stuff. Cause I'm feeling confident. Let's use my aim. Oh, I'm feeling a little tired and or maybe I'm feeling a little insecure today. I'm a little tired. Let's go for a nice little slower pace default. You could use this to decide how you should start off a T half, because if you're in the similar mood to how you open up the rounds with your defaults and stuff, you'll be able to play that default to the best of abilities. Another example he brought up was this other world chess player named Kasparov. He was talking about how Kasparov, he had a different approach because he was really known for being aggressive in the chess world and like always doing these aggressive openers and taking lots of risks and just constantly attacking. He was known for always attacking and stuff. And so what Kasparov would do when he wasn't feeling confident, they asked him, they're like, what do you do when you're not feeling good on those days? Kasparov said, I would think about what confident me would do and then do that. He would just like kind of fake his confidence to everyone else. They don't know he's faking it, it works out, and then he starts like slowly gets his momentum up, and then he gets in the zone because like it starts working, and then he's actually confident. So that's another method you could do too to like control your emotions at the top level. It's not really denying how you feel. It's more of like just getting you in that flow state of like how you normally are. If that's how you play best, is being aggressive, then and you're not feeling that aggressive that day, if this works for you, go for it. Fake the aggression and then try and get that momentum up. For me personally, I don't think that would work for me. I like Petrosian's method better of just seeing how I'd feel and then playing with that, which I'm probably going to implement my team. I did discuss it with them a little bit. I brought this up and my teammates had some good points with Counter-Strike. How it could be different. The difference between this and chess, it could be like you have 5 players and not all of them are going to have the same mood. They're all going to be wanting to play a little bit different. So ever since I filmed this video, I've been thinking about this method of like being emotionally attached to your strategies as an IGL. And I come to the conclusion that this is still definitely applicable, even if it is a team-based game with 5 different people who are going to be thinking differently. I think this works because as the IGL, you're in a leadership position, and just naturally how humans work, people who are playing underneath you are going to tend to emotionally match your energy. So if you're emotionally like feeling confident, they're gonna tend to match you and then naturally fall better into the strategy that you're calling around your emotions. Another thing as well too is that if you call a confident risky opener, you have to keep on calling confident and risky within that opener. So like you need to be better connected to the strategy than the players do. On the same note as that too is that even in a confident opener or a passive default or something along those lines, players still have their freedoms and wiggle room to like play more how they feel. You could be playing like a passive default and overpass, and players have their individual freedoms to still make their plays, so they can still match their own emotions to how they're playing within the strategy that matches your emotions. Does that make sense? So that's what I've been thinking about. I still think this is definitely applicable. Oh yeah, other examples he brought up too was like Michael Jordan. People learn to not shit talk Michael Jordan because once you got him like riled up and angry, he just used that anger to like drive his competitiveness. And then he, instead of just dropping 30 on you, he drops 50 on you. So it's like, because Michael Jordan knew how to use that anger to drive his play. When you feel these emotions, like you need to accept those nerves. Like if you're nervous, accept that shit. Like just be like, I'm nervous. Use it as fuel in your game. Be like, all right, I'm nervous. Let me use this nervousness to double check my corners. Ride that emotion, bro, because it's part of you. And when you deny it, you're not playing your gameplay to your full potential. And these emotions are like, they can be RNG, so it gives you that RNG factor of not always playing the same. One thing I do want to mention too, another thing you could do, I saw NATO Savix post a tweet about this. If you're actually worried about like how to open up T-side halves, usually you want to like research the enemy team to see how they play, and then you could like prepare like a round or two to like how you want to set the pace off, and then start playing around that. You don't want to be doing random shit every single round. It should be like a default that you play, and then you change it and play off of that pace change and reads and stuff like that. All that good stuff. The emotional approach too is pretty interesting. I definitely want to try that out myself. But yeah, that's something I had written down to talk about.